Hi again, YouTube. Oh, I was going to tell you about that chicken of mine today. So, this morning I gave them their usual grain, my horse and my chicken, and then I give it to them again in the evening, which I did. But in between, I took out one of their favorites, which was a loaf of bread. But my horse, she really loves like Walmart's French bread, especially when it's fresh. She gets a bunch in her mouth and then she just kind of sucks on it. It's just funnier than heck. But um, so anyway, I threw out some slices of bread I had, almost a whole loaf, and I threw some off by where I keep my hay so the horse couldn't get it from her. And the grain they just eat together, but the bread, if it's chunky stuff, Dusty will eat everything, and Chicky will just stand there looking at her like just disgusted. So I threw, well, first Chicky got a piece of bread. She was chewing on it, and she got about like that much out of it. And then I threw two of them off where Dusty couldn't get them. Chicken runs over there, so I put water in there, um, uh, tank for water, and everything took about 5 minutes. I went back in the house, I came back out, and within less than 5 minutes, that chicken had ate over 2 slices of bread. I could hardly believe it. I was like, no way. I told Doug, I go, can you believe it? It's like if you or I, even just plain bread, you eat a couple pieces of bread, you can feel it inside yourself. This chicken, literally, she's a Rhode Island red, literally weighs about a pound, not even a pound and a half, feathers and all. She's tiny, and she ate all that. It's like crazy, crazy, crazy. I couldn't believe it. But it is one of her favorites. When she first got here, showed up in the yard, I didn't have chicken feed, so I crunched up soda crackers and figured they had salt on her to make her thirsty, so I could rehydrate her because she was dehydrated and frozen. It was about this time of year last year, and then I put out some oatmeal and some bread, and um, at that time the crackers were her favorite. She still likes crackers, but and I buy the chicken feed too, but and she's got that in her house all the time, but I give my girls extra treats all the time, apples, carrots, whatever I got for my horse. And so Chicky eats with her all the time. So, but it was just kind of comical because I could not believe that tiny chicken ate all that. It's like it was funny. It's funny to watch too. And she got like Doug uh ob- observed that she's getting better at ripping it apart. She throws it up in the air. Well, she used to throw it and go get it, but now she's getting really used to picking it apart, a piece of bread. So it is funny to see. Even the horse, it's funny to watch her eat bread because, like I say, she mooshes it up. So, oh, excuse me, speck on there. Okay, it's gone. Um, yeah. So that kind of made my day. It was comical. What didn't make my day is I usually watch Matt at Quantum of Conscience. Um, Not always, but usually depends on what he's talking about. And he dissed on Lionel Nation, and he balled Lionel Nation up with somebody like Rush Limbaugh and Alex Jones and Stephen Colbert and people like this. It's like, what, are you out of your mind? I know I don't think you'll watch this, Matt, but you're out of your flippin' mind. I've been watching Lionel for a long time, following his career, and um, he is not. Um, he's more anti-government, if you would have to. And he's still pushing what happened to the buildings in New York. He lives there. Um, and basically, you're calling this man that has God in his heart, and you're pretty confused on that note. You're literally calling a friend of mine a shill, you know. So, and you called him stupid. You called Lionel stupid. You know what? There is not a word that Lionel can articulate for you. There's not nothing going on in the government or the headlines that he doesn't tell all of us every day, keeps abreast of that for us and everything else. And I could go on and on about the career that this man has had and how hard he has worked. And that pissed me off. That really did. I really don't know if I'll be watching that channel again just because of that. And I've been watching Matt for a long time, very long time. But I think you just lost a customer, dude. I don't think personally you've watched Lionel Nation long enough or hard enough to even know what you're talking about. Because he's a good man and you just screwed up in my mind. So there you go. That's my opinion. Maybe it was just a mistake because you certainly don't know what you're talking about. So actually, the name of your channel, Quantum Whatever, is what it should be called. That's my opinion. But, well, yeah, I'm mad now. You know, Lionel's a very good man. And he does love everybody. So, that was a low life comment, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, enough of that. Just thought I'd speak my mind on that note because I didn't appreciate it, you know, in behalf of somebody I respect. When I love and respect somebody, there's nothing or no one that could ever take that away. So, anyway, so yeah, yeah, I'm gonna calm down a second here. I thought that might be a little hard to spit out, but you know, forget that. Really, you know, if that goes passing around, I'm gonna come over and I'm gonna jump your shit. Just know that. I don't know. If anybody knows Matt better than I do, I'm sure he probably doesn't give any of my comments. I commented two, three times, even a couple years ago, made a comment on some of his theories about stuff and whatever. Um, I have no idea if he even glances at his comments because maybe he's like all too big. But Lionel isn't all that big, and I've seen him grow like in the last few months. But I've been kind of trying to push it too. I think a lot of other people do also because they realize that he's actually trying to do something, you know, always has been. Jerk. Oh my God. So if somebody knows Lionel and you know Matt, you maybe straighten him out a little bit. I'd like to, like a slinky, and then snap it back, you know. Damn, that made me mad. That's disgusting. That's one thing if you really know what you're talking about when you're talking about somebody and you know them very well. But if you don't and you're just spitting it out on like a one or two show observation, that's oh, sickening. Yeah. Wow. I could hardly believe it, you know. And then today too, something else I noticed. This irritated me, and I thought I was off the subject, but I'm not. Another thing that he did is, yeah, he's got some foul language up in there sometimes. So do I. But it seemed just a little bit extra filthy today. So I don't know what bug crawled where on this person or in this person, but it was pretty rude. So absolutely rude. Oh, I hear somebody calling. I would not doubt it's probably one of my kids. Most likely my youngest one, but I'll call him back after a bit. Yeah, anyway, I would have answered earlier, and I knew, like, I just knew that I'd get a phone call while I was making a video, so I already decided before that I wasn't going to answer it. So he hung up on 4 rings, so usually, and I don't have a machine hooked up to it right now. Um, the machine would pick it up at 4 rings, so yeah. So it's somebody I know. I don't know, could be one of my sisters too. Never know, I guess. I guess I won't know because I didn't answer it. So, remember, I told you I'm kind of like that anyway, but yeah, I did make the decision earlier. He'll call back. Probably figures I might be in the shower or something. So, yeah, that reminds me. I mean, I guess it might depend on what kind of work you do in your life, but did you ever know people that take a shower before they go to work? I mean, I'm not talking in an office building or modeling or something like that. I'm talking like construction work or whatever. You know, just seemed a little odd to me always. You get up in the morning and you wash up and brush your teeth and whatnot and start your day. But usually, if you're some kind of doing some kind of like construction or something like that, you take your shower when you get home or whatever, bath, whatever. Just even when I was working in an office, I would go home and um, shower after, especially being out in the public. It's like, yuck, that's icky. Being around a whole bunch of people. So, yeah. Yeah, the first secretarial job I had, I was, I think, 19. And, or was it the first? Well, so I'm up in the mountains at this resort I worked at, Lolo Hot Springs, and the dude opens up the file cabinet drawer and pulls out a 38, a little snub nose. Oh, yeah, we keep this in here in case somebody tries to come in and rob you. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to use that. I mean, I grew up hunting and stuff, but I wasn't going to like pull no gun on a human being. And I go, just take it out of there because I'm not going to use it. I won't need it. And, well, we'll just keep it in there. I said, well, then take the bullets out of it because I'm not going to work in an office with a gun in it. It's not happening. So he did eventually take it out of there and lock it up in his office. But it's like, no way. That was disgusting. you know, here, use this. That's out in Montana. It's like, okay, dude, no way. You know, it was a little freaky. And he was a sexual harasser. So, yeah, creep. But anyway, well, let's see what else is going on. We got a blizzard coming in, I guess, and I saw a little bit on Weather Nation. Looks like the East Coast getting kind of pounded. It said something about high waves and that type of thing. Uh, so I guess it's coming from sort of like the southwest and pushing up kind of northeast, and um, looks like we're gonna get a lot of snow and we need it. We haven't had a lot this year, and it does um, help with the crops that grow in the spring and that the snow melts. So, and keeping the rivers high for drinking water down south and all that. So, yeah, it's probably a good thing, and I don't really care, you know. So, yeah, but the ground's been bare. It snowed a little bit, a couple times, and then it warmed up and melted, and it's like, wow, that's okay. Could stay like that all winter as far as I'm concerned, and then just rain, really rain hard in the spring. That would be okay. I love it when our road washes out and nobody can drive down it. Really, you know. And they've been trying to cure that ever since I lived here. A little old man made it with his tractor, our road, tunnel road, and then they did widen it with the grader, but still, you could never bring like um, certain machinery and different things down our road at all. So, in fact, there was a really cool, it's a steel barn up at the end of our road north of me. They and it's little and it never was used on this property, and I wanted to offer to buy it and move it because I had a barn moved in one place where I lived, about the same size, but it wouldn't have been possible. So, and it wasn't even that big. It's not that big, but a smaller barn, but just the prettiest thing, you know. I thought it was more cool being like a steel barn than the red ones. I like white barns too. Red ones are pretty. I mean, I guess, um, like I helped paint my parents' barn, and they had the Dutch door where it opened on the top or the bottom, like Mr. Ed's stall, if you've ever seen Mr. Ed. But and then we painted like the trim on it and around the windows white, so that looked really, really pretty, you know. But yeah. Oh, let's see what else is going on. Yeah, it was almost to the point of almost wanting to swear at Matt, so I'm gonna try and not think about it. But yeah, I think I'm done watching him. That was freaking ignorant, you know. He better have a pretty good title on some kind of video to catch my attention again. You know, that's disgusting. Especially the guy's such a good man, you know, and definitely has God in his heart. He calls himself a retired Catholic. He grew up in Florida and then moved up to New York with his wife's from New Jersey. So they moved up there to further their careers, and she works with women that have been abused, helping them get back on their feet when they strike out on their own, you know. So, yeah, that just whatever. Those are one of my moments where I go, whatever, whatever, I gotta, whatever it, you know. So, yeah, let's see. Um, oh, I see Bruce C's all put out some video footage of the moon that he got. His son and him stayed up late getting fresh footage, and thanked us all for joining him for Christmas. And thank you too for joining me on your Christmas day. I wondered how many people would, and I thought, well, maybe towards the end of the day too, people get kind of bored. I mean, after gifts are opened up and or exchanged or whatever. And, you know, stuff like that. I didn't do any Christmas shopping. I sent money out, you know. So, but I'm going to go shopping this week. Few things I want to get, like a guitar and oh, I don't know, a couple things. But, yeah. I mean, if I had little kids around and stuff, I'd go kind of all out for them, you know. Yeah, and I wouldn't really tell them like the damnation story of Christmas, but I did tell them that it wasn't quite what they thought. But we always would celebrate baby Jesus' birthday. But then the older they got, I would incorporate the truth, you see. So, yeah, just to educate them. But then, too, they had times where you can look it up. A lot of people, you know, well, I had one person say, well, my wife said, what if you're still in the Illuminati and because you say your dad this and that taught you? Yeah, my adopted dad, that I divorced them actually to get away from her. And well, he was no walk in the park either. And he got worse and worse the older he got. But my point was there's literally a court case um, where I took them to court to keep my kids away from them. And that's also in Anoka County. So, yeah, all the stuff I'm talking about, I can prove. I tried to keep my kids away from them, and it didn't work out for me. So, and that was terrible because then my kids learned things that I didn't want them to have firsthand knowledge of. Just the rudity of the type of person. Um, yeah, disgusting. Yeah, whatever. The kind of people that are rude behind closed doors, but you wouldn't think by looking at them out in public, that type of person. So, you know, like the woman who raised me, she may not, she wouldn't swear, except, oh shit, maybe. You know, one time, um, it was a little worse than that under extreme circumstances, and I kind of egged her into it. Oh well, just saying. I was about 15. And no, I didn't do nothing to her. My dad did. But and she swore at him. But she wouldn't hesitate to kill one of my kids. So, and I had a mother-in-law that actually did. So yeah, yeah. So when I went to court and tried to keep my children away from these people, it didn't work. It did for a minute. I had them, and I had the paper that said, you know, they were supposed to stay like so far away, a restraining order and everything, and they went back in and they had it reversed because they had money to do that and backing of the Illuminati. So when people accuse me of being a part of that, um, think I got a right to be angry. Check out my videos a little more. You'll probably won't even hear one that I'm not dissing on some sort of people that are trying to hurt other people out here. You know. Oh, I see 007. I see B named her hedgehog Spike. That's what I thought would be a cool name for him. So that's cool, and he's looking cute. So yeah, tell her good job taking care of that little. He could have been roadkill, and she saved him. So or him or her or whatever it is, you know. Or maybe I wrote Sonic, but Spike fits him, you know. I wanted to name dog Spike. I always thought that'd be a good name for a dog. How about one of them dogs with the crazy hairdo sticking out? They're like a chihuahua, but you know, that would be a Spike. Some cats too could get away with that. Had a really pretty cat one time. I got a yellow lab named Spotty. So I got Spot, and it was a girl. And my cat that I got from a friend of mine, and his name was Tuffy. Pure white cat with, except for the tips of his ears, and his tail was gray. And he's part Siamese. And his eyes were just the prettiest sky blue. And so, and he was a really good boy. He stayed in the yard the whole time I had him. He was about 3 when I got my dog. And one day we were all outside, and I told my dog, I go, I love you, girl, come here. And that cat looked at me, and it was just like a kitty F you. He flipped his tail, he went walking down the road, and I'm yelling at him, Tuffy, come back. I go, I love you, get back here. And he just kept walking, and I never saw him again. And then I heard my neighbor was shooting cats in his barn. And I said, well, did you see a white one out there? And he's like, I think so. I go, yeah, you killed my cat. You know, like, yeah, we don't kill cats around here. We take them in. We've taken in strays, literally pregnant stray. Took care of, got homes for all the babies and all that. So that's actually the cat we have now, Bob. His mother was a stray we took in. So, um, and he's got a bobtail. So he's probably part wildcat too. So, but yeah, she was huge. She showed up in the yard with pregnant with 2 other cats that were her kids, one black one and one like her, more like looked like a bobcat, tiger striped, and she was like 13 pounds, and her one son was I always want to say pterodactyl or like Fira, Fira. Oh geez, with the 6 toes, and it starts with a PHOE or something. I always forget that word. It's crazy, but he had 6 toes, and he was a monster cat. And let me think, Elmo. I called him Elmo, and I give him to a lady in Texas. She had literally had a kitty animal farm where she had chickens, like really unique, exotic chickens, and all kinds of cats and little farm animals like mini donkeys and that type of thing. So, yeah, I think she went out of business, or her and her boyfriend broke up or something. But yeah, but she just fell in love with him. She actually came to get an orange cat that I had. It was like almost fluorescent orange. I called her Flo. So she took Flo too. But she came to get Flo and saw Elmo and just totally freaked out. And he was like this big around, huge, huge cat. When I picked him up, he was like hanging all over the place, like a little kid carrying a cat, you know. So Yeah, he was really cool. But I figured in he was living out in the wild because these cats were wild, and I had to literally talk his mom, Fluffy. It took me a year to talk her to get her close to me, and I was feeding her out by my horse, and finally I was able to pick her up one day. I asked her if she wanted me to pick up one of her little boys or I'd pick her up, and she chased the boys off, and she came over and she rubbed around my legs and go, "You want me to pick you up? You can be a shop kitty." And she came in my arms, and I took her in and told Doug, "Look who I finally got." He just fell in love with her. So yeah, that was his kitty out there. And so yeah, she died on Halloween. Had a really, I think a car hit her actually. So yeah, ripped her leg off. It was a very bloody Halloween. Horrific. So Doug had to put down his own cat. Yeah. So he's kind of touchy on that subject when he didn't understand somebody else had to do a very similar thing for different reasons, but he's understanding things a little more now. And I've been taking more time actually explaining instead of just blowing up. But when somebody's like has a real dark attitude in life, it's not really always easy to be around. But I'm on a mission. Oh, Karen, it sounds like you got some really nice gifts. Yeah, I was hoping that you had a happy Merry Christmas. The same. Oh, pardon me, my new sub, friend. I'm sorry I didn't mention you. Thank you for being here. That was supposed to be on the top of my list today. Please excuse me, and I apologize. Yeah, so I was hoping special wishes for a bunch of friends that I know have some difficult days. I mean, we all do, you know, but I have special spots for everybody. So I love you all. I really do. I have to honestly say I don't really consider people subs. It's like if I'm talking to you and you're listening to me, then you're more than a sub, you're a friend. That's how it is over at Lionel Nation, too. He really does love everybody, and he interacts with people so well. I mean, he'll teach you, but he won't put you down. He's not as rough as I am. He's an eloquent speaker, and I mean, he'll cuss once in a while, but he's just not crude, you know. So yeah, I thought I was off that subject. Oh well, probably won't be. Because Doug likes him too. I'm the one that got Doug listening to him, and he goes, "I think you should follow that guy. I think you should pattern your channel after his," and or something like that. And I'm thinking, well, nah, I'm not going to be getting into reading the headlines for anybody out of the New York Times, but it is cool to hear somebody else, what's going on. He covers or he'll like if he reads the what is it, Grudge Report or Zero Hedge, if he finds something in some other media that's not necessarily mainstream, he doesn't even watch it anymore. And I haven't watched mainstream media. I turned on the news to watch the weather, about maybe 2, 3 weeks ago. I haven't actually watched mainstream media for probably, God, a couple years, something like that. maybe more. And even regular TV is pretty bad. you know, I turned something on. Oh, well, on regular TV, my channels in my room here don't always come in. But I mean, I would definitely watch probably reruns of Star Trek, all of them, and like Xena and Hercules, if those are on like in the afternoons, but they don't come in my room. So, but if they did, I'd probably turn them on just to listen to them, and oh, but it was something like, well, if you remember, like that show Joan of Arcadia, where this high school girl, uh, Doug's coming in, I'll yell hi, is she's talking to God all the time. So, um, and he bugs her and has her do this, that, and the next thing. But I had turned on my regular TV right before I was going to rest for the night. And even that had something like disgustingly stupid on it. And so, yeah. But anyway. But that was a good show back in the day. I really liked that. Huh. I thought I heard him come in. Yeah, he opened the door, but oh, I bet he's grabbing more wood. Probably. But yeah. So, yeah. Regular TV, it just really is bad. So if somebody's making a video, it's much more entertaining to me to talk to really real people and see what's going on in our real world than it is somebody's make believe crap. And you can't even really trust the weather anymore either. I mean, maybe locally you can see what's going on. So if they tell you something, it's probably like, well, yeah, obviously, but I don't know. We'll see. They say we're getting snow and it might be heavy in parts in the northern plain, but they didn't know how much because it was too soon to tell a couple of days ago. So, yeah, he's making a lot of noise. Um, and then I always say hi when he comes in. So, I'll let you go. I'll say peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. And um, yeah, hi Doug. I'm just cutting my video off. Want to say hi YouTube or bye YouTube? Oh, he didn't hear, and he really is hard of hearing too. It's amazing. Can't hear, can't see. He's pretty smart though. I know God talks to him. So, okay, peace and love, everybody. I'm hoping you have a wonderful rest of your Merry Christmas and
Merry Christmas, offenders.
no, they're not offenders. These are not. No, I explained to them the offense of the whole thing. So, offenders. No, yeah, I know he's disgusted with some people. He found some videos and it was like, wow, and pointed some stuff out to me. So, no, Doug, my friends are good people, not them ones that are trying to make money off of people. Yeah,
I apologize.
yeah. Thank you, thank you. Okay, everybody, I love you. Doug loves you too. Talk to you soon.
You
Later.
don't know on this day.
What's that?
You don't know on this day.
No, you don't know on this day. It's true. We can only go by our hearts. So, okay, everybody, talk to you soon. Later.